What's up, guys? Welcome back. Uh, I don't even know what's the topic for today. Just a minute. Yesterday, I didn't upload any video because the thing was, I had a call yesterday, so I compensated, the speaking practice with that call only because that entire call was in English only, and that call lasted for somewhere around more than 50 minutes, close to 1 hour, right? So for 1 hour, I was having a conversation in English only. Right. So because I already had spoken a lot of English yesterday, so that's why I thought that okay, I should save some of my time and I should not spend it, in recording another video and then upload the video and whatnot. So I compensated that thing. So this is why I didn't upload the video yesterday because most of the times what I do is you guys know that I do this practice of speaking on a daily basis, deliberate practice where I speak in front of camera and then I upload that particular video because it is one of the tasks or one of the habits that I follow on every single day. Right. So that's what I'm doing today because I didn't get any chance of speaking just like yesterday. So that is why I'm speaking, but it's a deliberate practice as I've been doing uh, every day. I could make a video yesterday also, but I thought that maybe I should go on and save some of my time. All right. So the topic for today is the real reason. All right. So the real reason you freeze is the topic that I've already covered in the previous video. The next topic is stop translating Hindi to English in your head. Do this instead. Yes. So this is going to be the title of this video. Stop translating Hindi to English. Exactly. We don't have to translate. We should not translate. Our native language. Here I mentioned Hindi, but it goes for every language, no matter which language you speak. It might be any of your regional language. You might belong to India, or you might belong to some other country or anything where you speak any other language other than English. Right. So you just don't have to translate from your mother tongue, from your native language, because that thing in my opinion, the if I observe, because I have also done these sort of mistakes earlier. Now I majorly focus on what I have to speak about rather than translating or anything, because if you have to be fluent, if you want to be fluent, then you will have to stop this translating thing. uh, you'll have to start thinking in English only, and this is how you will start to get better and better. So yeah, translating does what? Translating basically makes us slower while speaking, because we start to translate, we start to put the grammar rules and everything, the right vocabulary, the right structure and whatnot. So all this calculation makes us very slow, and we generally tend to forget the main topic we were talking about. Right. So instead of focusing on the topic, or instead of focusing on what we have to say, we start to focusing we start to focus on what we what are the rules and everything, the grammar and translation thing. Right. So that basically that machinery thing happen. Our brain is very good at doing one thing at a time only. So if you start to translate and at the same time you have to speak about something, so there are now two main tasks going on in your head. One is this translating thing, and another thing to stick with the topic, to stick with the main thing that you have to talk about. So these two things collectively or simultaneously can't go really well. Our brain is not that capable. This is the limitation, you can say. This is a biological limitation that we have. Right, let me check whether I'm recording the video or not. Yes, I'm almost 4 minutes into this video now. Right, so just stop thinking. And how sorry, not stop thinking, stop translating. And how can we stop translating? By consuming more and more. You'll just have to listen to English as much as you can and start to think in English only, because once you start to think in English, consumption must be there, and consumption not by reading, by listening. Because the more you will listen to the language, the more you will get to know that okay, in this particular context I should say this, and this is the correct pronunciation, this is the right way of saying things and whatnot. And then only your understanding about the language will continue to increase, and everything will increase. Definitely your vocabulary will increase. Your sentence structure will automatically get better. uh, you will start to think in English only whenever similar situations will occur in your life. uh, right. So thinking in English is very important, and there must be some deliberate effort from your side as well, to start to think in English, right? So start thinking in English, because whatever we speak, it comes from our mind only. So if it is there in our mind in the form of sentences, and the understanding, the knowledge that we have related to the language, so that only comes out once we start speaking. So whatever I'm speaking right now, it is already there in my head, then only I'm able to frame these sentences and use these words and everything. It is coming from my brain. Why? Because I've consumed this much amount of English through listening, through reading and whatnot. But again, listening is the most important thing. Reading is a very recent phenomenon. I was watching some video, on reading. So I got to know about this thing. I don't know how correct or not correct it is, but they said that reading is a very recent phenomena. Reading thing started maybe a few centuries ago only. Earlier than that, there was no culture of reading and anything. There was nothing related to reading or anything. uh, it might be couple of centuries, or it might be 1,000 years as well. I don't know. So our brain has not developed that much or adapted this reading thing that much. That was the conversation, or that was the that documentary was talking about. I don't exactly remember, but even before this reading thing happened, people used to speak the language. They used to listen to each other, they used to listen to others, and then they started speaking and whatnot, right? A child does what, when we see a very small child, when a child is born, so up to the age of 2 or 3, whenever he or she starts to speak a language, they do what, they don't read. They start to consume a language through listening, right? So they listen to each and everything, right? Of course, it's not a deliberate effort. It's just something they do unknowingly. This is something that just happens. So they continue to consume the language in the form of listening. Whatever their parents are speaking, whatever the people in their family, in their surrounding, in the neighborhood, or wherever those children are, they continue to consume the language. They continue to listen to the language for years, for 2 to 3 years at least, right? And then once they get the ability to start speaking in English, sorry, once they get the ability to speak, uh, uh, just to speak, so they speak what? They speak that particular language only. Of course, initially their language is absolutely crap. They don't make sense. They it looks like they are trying to say something which is not very clear. Sometimes the parents only understand them well, but not in exact terms, right? Parents correct them, and gradually, as they get older and older, they start to speak better language, right? And this is exactly what happens, and what should happen, and we have to make it happen, is this thing only, this listening thing only, that we just have to listen to the language. The more you will listen to the language, and the more you will try to speak the language on a daily basis, try to be consistent, as consistent as possible, even for a short duration. I've already said this multiple times, and not just me. All the great people, all the uh, you know the scholars, or whatever you want to call it, all the experts, language experts, or in general experts, because this principle just doesn't apply on language only, but on every damn thing. What? That consistency is the most important thing. Showing up daily is the most important thing. Even if you do it for a shorter duration, even if you do a bit lesser, it's completely fine, but doing it consistently is what that brings results for us. That is the most important thing, right? So you just have to go on and on and on every single day. Listen to English, make English your environment, or a part of your environment. I would rather suggest you to to be surrounded with English. Whatever you're reading, read that in English only. Whatever you're consuming, try to consume every damn thing in English only, right? If you're writing something, be it your to-do list, or any damn thing that you're writing, uh, write that thing in English only, because once you start writing in English, and if it is something that you are not copy pasting from somewhere, but you are writing your own thoughts, or whatever you have to do, or anything, if you write that in English, you will have to think in English, right? So the more you will write, the more you will have to think, and the more you will be thinking, the more you will be able to think, the more you will be able, or the better you will be able to speak in that particular language. I have written a lot of English, to be very honest. I have filled registers, or these notepads, as you call them. It is notepad is a more popular and more understandable term for most of the people. Not registers. In India, especially in North India, we generally call them registers. These are the registers, right? Oh my God, my pen got dropped. Right. So this is how, I have filled many notepads. Not it was not my motive to fill those notepads with English. It What I'm saying is that whatever I write that thing in English only. And whatever I have written a lot. I do a lot of rough work, a lot of mind bending and thinking and planning and whatnot while writing things out. It makes me understand things better, and it makes me feel like, okay, I have done something important, because we just can't continue to think and plan in our head only. So it's better to write somewhere, or it's better to basically do something. Or so that's a different point. And so write. The more you will write, the more you will have to think, and the more you will think in a particular language, it will get easier for you to speak in that language. Don't translate. Don't do this is mr verb or grammar or tenses, and this is, to be very honest, it's not going to work for you, right? Especially as far as speaking is concerned. In order to become a speaker, just start speaking. Right. I always say that you just have to do these two things, nothing else. All, every other thing is just a bonus or additional thing. But the two non negotiable things in order to become a speaker are listening and speaking. You miss even one out of these two, you will never become, and you can never become a speaker of a language. Trust me. If you let's say, if you have never consumed a language, if you have never listened to a language ever, how can you speak that language? If you have never listened to a language, how can you speak that language? You can never speak that language. And on the other hand, if you have listened to a language every time, I mean, you have listened to that particular language, you have consumed that language a lot, completely fine, but you have not tried to speak that language even for once, right? Even once you have not tried to speak in that particular language. You have listened to that language a lot, consumed. You have been consuming it for years. I get it. But you have not tried to speak in that language, even a single word or even a single sentence. You have not tried. How can you become a speaker of that language? You can never become a speaker. Nobody can become a speaker. Biology doesn't work like this. This is pure science. In order to become a speaker, you will have to practice. You will have to move this mouth of yours. You will have to create a coordination between your head, your brain, and your mouth, because whatever you have consumed, whatever you have listened to, is there in your head, in your brain. And now you'll have to start speaking. So will once you speak, our brain, our mouth starts to make a form, a connection with our mind. And once this connection establishes, then only we are able to speak. And in order to make our mouth habitual of this language, you'll have to continue to speak and speak and speak. The more we'll speak, the better we'll become at speaking that particular language. That's what I have tried. And till that time I had not tried this thing, I was absolutely pathetic. I sucked at this particular language. Honestly, that's God's honest truth. And once I realized, I don't know from where exactly I got to actually realize, finally realize that I will have to start speaking in order to become a speaker, because I was trying so many other things. I was trying to, I was trying reading newspapers, reading books, although I have not read many of the books earlier. In the earlier times, maybe I have read more of newspaper only, but not books. This is a very recent story that, I've started to read self-help books now. So earlier, I just used to, read newspapers, and sometimes I tried to read some books, and what else? Yeah, this is it. And by doing all this, I used to think that maybe, I'll start to speak. And but whenever I got an opportunity to speak, or whenever a time came to speak in English language, I always got almost blank, or I always spoke very bad English, very less English, and very less confident English, to be very honest. But once I got uh, to know that okay, I'll have to start speaking, no matter how bad I speak, no matter how many grammatical mistakes I make, but I will have to speak. I will have to practice speaking. No matter if I practice for even 2 minutes a day, but I will have to move my mouth and speak out this language. Then only things started to change for me. All right, so I'm already 15 minutes in this video, and now I think I should take a leave now. um, Thank you so much for watching this video, and I have left a couple of links in the description, and the same links are in the pinned comment also. If you guys want to have a one-on-one conversation with me, uh, in order to practice your spoken English, I welcome you. I more than welcome you. I will also be sharing the things. If you ask me any of the things, you can ask me anything, by the way, related to, of course, this English thing or this YouTube thing or whatever you want to ask, not something very personal, of course. That is the kind of disclaimer I'm already giving. uh, right, so yeah, you can connect with me. uh, I was also someone whose English was absolutely zero. Absolutely zero. Like I told you, I've already mentioned this thing many times in my videos. Right, so I'll definitely wait for you guys. I will definitely love to join you guys. Thank you so much for giving me your time, and I really hope you got something valuable to learn from this video of mine. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.